Community forum? Okay, approval of minutes.
So moved.
Second. Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Approval of bills for payment. Questions on those?
So moved.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Financial report, $3,356,323.96. Questions on that?
So moved.
Second. Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Alright, so you go. Okay, on October 15th, Ms. Akins had a group of students, 15 students take the PSAT in the auditorium. I touched base with her, scores came back and they were really positive, so she was excited about that. On the 17th, we talked about this before our last meeting, but it hadn't happened yet, but we had a district-wide pep rally where cheerleaders performed and marching band did their state competition. That was the day before they actually had their competition. And the middle school and the elementaries were both there. Cheerleaders and everybody were involved. We were able to do some pep rallies before every home football game this year. It's something new that we were trying, and just to help build up the school spirit a little bit. So great big shout out to our student council who helps out with that, Miss Humiston and Miss Swope, for all their hard work with the rallies. I thought they went well, but it was really neat to have the whole entire school there on that Friday and to give the band another competition practice before they actually got their Division I rating. So congrats to them on that. On the 21st, we had 14 students take the ACT in the auditorium. Something new for that, we did the writing test for the first time, and the scores came back really positive. It was something that the kids did not want to do. If you know, the ACT test is not a fun test, but the writing was something that we decided that Ms. Akins decided we could dip her toe into, and it actually went really well. And the kids were excited that their scores were actually as good as they were, so that's a good thing. On the 28th of October, Ms. Akins, Ms. Salazar, and I went to the AEA for our decap, and that went well in our academic plan and whatnot. They put out some new things. I don't know if Ms. Salazar is going to talk about it, so I don't want to say too much, but they got some new ways they're going to do the scoring and maybe not make it as encompassing as it really is. So they're down back a little bit, which is what they absolutely need to do because that plan is a bear. So that went well. Parent-teacher conferences last week. We did an open house style at the middle school, high school again, and we sent, our teachers sent out emails to parents that maybe the students may be struggling or they needed to have. And Ms. Salazar does a good job of keeping data. This year, our 6th grade, we have 53% of our parents there, which is up from last year's 46. 7th grade, we have 31% of our parents there, which is down from 40 last year. 8th grade was 31%, which is up from 23 last year. 9th grade, we only had 17% of our parents there, which last year was 22. 10th grade, we had 29%, which was up from 16 last year. And 11th grade, 27%, we were up from 16 there last year. And then 12th grade, we had 27%, which last year we had 34. But we had an event last year, which brought in a lot more parents for the seniors. So all in all, 40% of our middle school students were represented by a guardian or a parent, and 25 for the high school. So this is just some data for what we had coming into our building. The musical is coming up this weekend. I'll let Brandon talk about that. And then on November 25th, Mr. Horton will be traveling with some students on a field trip to the Kinsey manufacturing tour. So that'll be something great. They've done a great job of getting the kids out into the field and experiencing things, and just another opportunity for our kids to learn something and maybe get excited about something. So that's what I got. Questions, comments?
What did you say that was again, that percentage on the high school?
40% attendance for middle school and 25 for high school. And that's both nights combined. Yep. Anybody else? Thank you. Sharon?
Mr. Pearson, would you turn the projector on, please? The AEA continues to support the district throughout the week with literacy, math, science, and our PLC leads. Seth Denny, who's a technology guru, will be in the district the week of December 8th through the 12th to provide some computer science support. He's going to be with the 6th grade technology class during their HEX in the morning, and then he'll go over to the elementary and be in the computer special throughout the day, just doing computer science activities with the kids. To add on to what Mr. Johnson said about the DCAP, some of those, there's changes not only to the rubric, but they're also going to drop down and add in 5th grade through 12th grade. So we're going to have to start to do some work at the elementary. When Carrie comes in for JA, that's something that we can add to our list of things that we do to meet the DCAP requirements. When the kids go to BizTown, that's another connection that we can make. So we're going to start looking for those connections all the way down to 5th grade and not just really focusing on 8th through 12th grade. Also during the workshop, Ms. Akins was applauded or recognized for formatting the DCAP form. She took what the state asked for us to do and organized it so it made more sense and used, instead of it being a really long Word document, put it into a spreadsheet and has tabs for each section, which is so much easier to navigate and to use. And Amanda Brink, the AEA contact for the DCAP, came and asked if she could share that format with other districts across the state. Not just in our AEA, but across the state. So that was pretty cool to see Kelsey be recognized for her hard work on that. Told us there were 2 districts, us and one other district
Waukee.
that kind of formatted it like that, and Waukee was the other one. So that was pretty cool. The last thing I have today is I'm going to start trying to do some curriculum spotlights. Of things that are going on in the district. So today, we're going to look at something called the unique curriculum, possibly, that is used in Kristen Yotter's room. Kristen's a 6 through 12 special ed teacher. So she has used parts of this curriculum in the past, and this year we updated and got the more current version of the unique curriculum. It's an online-based curriculum. That doesn't mean the kids are online, but Kristen gets her stuff from online. It's standards-based. It's designed specifically for students with special needs. It provides differentiated instructional materials that support access to the general education curriculum for learners with a wide range of abilities, and it goes all the way from preschool up to that transitional age of 22. The goal is to make that academic content accessible and engaging while supporting some of those functional life skills and independence with those students. There's some core features to the curriculum. There's monthly thematic units. They have a focus or a central theme. The lessons integrate multiple subjects all together, like reading, math, science, and social studies. There's differentiated levels of instruction. So Kristen can go in and select if students are at a level 1, they'll get that content at a level 1 level or a level 3. And it just ranges based on what the student's needs are. It's aligned with the standards that she uses for alternate assessments as well. It's interactive, and there's printable materials that she can use. There's also built-in assessment tools. It includes those transition skills that her students work on. And then there's a data and tracking piece as well, so she can use that when she's writing IEPs and such. Some benefits of the curriculum: it ensures that consistency across grade levels and classrooms. It helps provide that individualized instruction for IEPs. It promotes inclusion and engagement, and it saves her time when planning and maintaining the compliance with these standards. It's all laid out there. There's so much stuff built into this. She could use all of it every day and still have a ton more stuff to use. So here's some pictures of the curriculum in action in our classroom. So one portion of it is called News to You, and it's kind of a current events piece, but it gives them a weekly recipe to prepare. So they had a Fat Bear week, and then they created a teddy bear trail mix that the students enjoyed. And of course, there's probably some math skills that go into that as well when they're measuring out ingredients and such. It also will provide a weekly craft. So they read a story about the Atlantic Hot Air Balloon Fiesta, and so they made their own hot air balloons to display. They read a story about Dollywood's Harvest Festival, and then they made leaf sun catchers that went along with that. And then it also provides some weekly science experience, some hands-on things. And they learned about why pumpkins sink or float. So they did some work with that. So she is very thankful. We had quite a time getting this going this school year. That was a headache, but once we finally got it, then she was ready to roll with it. So she really appreciates it and thinks it's doing good things for her kids. So that's all I have today.
Can we get that at the elementary too, like Allison?
It can.
We've got almost all of that printed off and using that stuff.
So-
already, so.
Yeah, and so Kristen had it previously too, and then they've updated versions. It's like an every 3-year cycle or whatever. So we haven't updated the elementary yet. Allison had some other resources that she was used to using. But once she comes back from leave, then she can take a look at this too and see if it's something that she would.
I've seen this used a lot in the elementaries, and I mean, it's a really great resource.
Not the latest version, but all of that stuff, and it's all in binders and it can be readily available, so I know we've been using it every year for the last few.
It really does make just every day, like things that junior high kids are learning, but it makes it at a very accessible level for those kiddos.
Every lesson has the reading it, like it ties in the back, and then just everyday life. So,
Any other questions, Shannon? Shannon, there was a mental health safety questionnaire that was maybe done last late summer, fall. Have you done that this year? I don't remember the name of it. Ask students if they feel safe, if their security, safe around students, safe around teachers.
Is it the conditions for learning? Over
What was that?
That one?
I can't remember what it was called.
We haven't given the conditions for
Well,
learning for a
And
while.
they've changed, because they changed the requirements where
So they
it's
might-
not counted in our
Yeah.
score, and that was
Okay.
one where parents had to
So
give
it's
permission to take it, so,
eliminated?
yeah.
All right, I just
So we do
wondered.
the savers 3 times a year. Again, parents have to give us permission to do that.
Okay.
That would probably be the
That would be
closest
it.
thing to
Yeah,
it
I
right
just
now.
can't remember the name of it.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else? Thank you. Brandon.
Okay, just a couple updates things coming, or under the activities, heading of the board packet that I gave you. The musical is November 14th, that's this Friday. It's gonna be 7 p.m., but then on Saturday, they're gonna have 2 showings, one at 2 and then one at 7, and then Sunday, they're gonna go again at 2 o'clock. I forgot to put that on there for Sunday. That's gonna be Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. I've heard there's 1 person from my household and 2 people from my household in that show. You probably should go watch it.
Will you be at every showing?
Are you going?
I'm gonna be there Friday.
Okay, there you go.
I'll probably be there every show.
Megan will be there every
Uh-huh.
showing.
It's different every night. Every time you see it is.
Oh, of course it is.
The activity front, also the band, I want to congratulate them on getting a Division I rating at state this year. And then on the athletic side of things, the football team had 13 all-district players. Obviously, they made the playoffs this year. Congratulations to them. Volleyball team had 8 all-conference players. They made the regional semifinal in one of the best volleyball matches you'll ever see. Kenna Greiner ends up getting Coach of the Year this year for the conference, and Maya Wagner was Player of the Year. Cross country finished their season at Atumla. Kenna Small led the girls in 30th place, and Will Parsons led the boys in 44th. Actually, a pretty nice night to run. That was probably one of the nicest weather cross country meets I had. It wasn't like the junior college national championship last weekend where they were running in 3 inches of snow. That was out in Fort Dodge.
Yeah.
The one thing I did add, wanted to just update the board. The girls basketball team, a little bit low numbers. I think they had 9 at practice tonight. They will not have JV at this time. I think we're gonna be okay as far as having enough girls to play. That's the positive of that, and I think we have a good core of girls. So I athletically they're gonna be just fine. It's just making sure we have enough girls on the team. And I think we're gonna be okay now. We had a couple girls that have decided to come out and increase those numbers, so we should be good. Any of the stuff for junior high soccer, I put that in the packet as well, so you should have already seen that. And my recommendation is in there. A couple other things I just want to update you, kind of the work I've been doing the last probably week and a half. One is I did update because I had this stuff for baseball records from the past. and girls basketball records in the past. I added more stuff to the rocket board out front. So if you go to the rocket board or the Hall of Fame board out by the office, the information on there is really expanded out. Like there's a lot of information on there. My goal is, and I sent a message to all the coaches, I want them to try to update their record books as well as they can, and let's get those things on there as well. Some of you that coach have probably seen that email when I sent it out. But the idea is I want to expand that board so that, we're getting the best bang for our buck. We spend a lot of money on that, and I want as much information on there as I can possibly get. So we're working through that process right now. I have some golf. I think Jason had sent me some boys and girls golf stuff that I had sent in, but I hadn't seen that pop up yet, so I may have to send it to him again. But basically, the coaches give it to me in a document, and I send it in, and they plug it in for me. And they format it so it looks right. We can do that ourselves, but they're professionals in that formatting stuff, and we let them do that for that reason. I've been also working on scheduling. I'm trying to work on fall and winter of next year, as well as summer of this year. I think summer's done now, but the fall of next year, trying to get that worked out. Obviously, we had a very unique district football situation this year, with a couple teams not finishing the season. So I'm kind of at a standstill with the football schedule because I don't know if they're going to try to do something about that. Are they going to change up our district? Are they going to, so as far as that goes, we're kind of at a standstill, but everything else is moving forward, and that's what I've been working on. Buses and vans, obviously I had to make some adjustments with not playing JV girls basketball. There were some scheduling changes that had to happen, and I put all the buses in and I had to take all the buses out and then put the buses back in. And same thing with officials, trying to shuffle them around because when you lose a game, where you're shuffling people around a little bit. So I think we're good for the winter now, and I think we're good going into summer. I think we've got everything lined up. As long as nothing unexpected happens, we're good. But that's what I've been working on the last probably 7 to 10 days. So.
Questions, comments? Thank you. Good.
All right, boiler inspections were done last week and we passed with no issues. Woodman Controls is still working on getting our HVAC software up and ready to go so we can control the temperatures. Hopefully within the next 2 to 3 weeks we can get them down here and start getting everything set up that needs to be done. One issue, the elementary kitchen ceiling, we're gonna need to start thinking about doing some work to it. It's been crumbling. I think from when they power washed the roof to recoat it, and over time it's just there's been leaks. So I'm going to meet with Schaefer and kind of devise a plan to get that taken care of. We've got it temporarily fixed for now. Obviously we want to have a long-term solution. And then the third floor AON unit that's on borrowed time, we'll be lucky if we get a year out of it at this rate. Lots of refrigerant leaks, and it sounds like the cost to repair it is going to be bring up the question if we don't just replace the entire unit with an actual air conditioner at this point. So I'm going to work with Menace and kind of get some numbers, and we can go from there, I think. But just wanted to get it out there that we're kind of on borrowed time with it.
Questions?
All right, my report's in front of you. Again, IASB convention is coming up quickly. The deadline to register has not passed, so if you'd like to go, just let Eric or I know, and we can take care of that for you. I put the new open meetings law training in again this month. It's the same stuff that you saw last month for your information. Certified enrollment, I wanted to talk again a little bit about this. I had notified the board about this, but certified enrollment shows that we are down 17 from last year. That means we had 5 fewer resident kids and our open enrolled out population went down 12. Now, down 17 sounds frightening. However, when you dig deeper, we are actually serving 3.9 kids more this year than last year. That is because our open enrolled in population is up 8.9 from last year. And when you subtract out the 5 fewer resident kids, that's how they get to the 3.9. So even though certified is down, our served enrollment is up. That means we are retaining more state aid and less is being flowed through. So Down 17 is bad, up 3.9 is good. We're in good shape, okay? The legislative information is there again, my schedule is there. If you flip over, you'll see we picked up a student this month, which is always good. I also wanted to talk a little bit about the IDEA differentiated accountability. That's this one pager, okay? And I don't want to bore you with this, but it is something that we are being recognized for some good work that we're doing. This is something that the DE does every 3 years. They go through and they evaluate school districts on different indicators on how they're performing in the area of special ed. You can be classified a level 1, 2, or 3. 1 is the best, 3 is the worst. Wapello again was designated a level 1, which I think is absolutely awesome. There are 4 areas they take a look at. Secondary transition. Once a child reaches 8th grade, you then have to go through the transition process that looks at life skills, job skills, a whole host of other areas. Child find, that is the identification process. How do you identify students who qualify for special ed? Academic success and social emotional behavior. How does your special ed population perform in those areas? Out of a total possible score of 100, Wapello's total score was 68.45. That was good enough to get us in a level 1, and while I don't have comparisons with other districts, I think that compares quite favorably to lots of districts in the area. There are 26 total criteria that they take a look at to determine those scores. Of those 26, Wapello was above the state average on 21 of them. So I think we should feel really good, and kudos to our special ed staff and all the people who work with those students. As a level 1 school, we do not require any outside support. We have to identify an area that we want to focus our efforts on. We're going to continue focusing on secondary transition. And I guess big takeaway, our special ed department's doing good work.
I asked Mike to go over that just because,
No, I think it's good.
yeah, I just wanted to highlight that we have good things happening. Sometimes all I hear is the negatives, especially compared to other schools in our area. So we're doing well in this. So I want to highlight that. Yeah, kudos to our school team.
Questions, comments for Mike? Thank you. Edward?
All right, you guys have my notes. The last couple of weeks have been pretty busy at the elementary. Red Ribbon Week was 2 weeks ago. Happened to fall the same week as Halloween, and there was a lot going on. They had dress-up days. The student council kind of sponsors that for Red Ribbon Week to go along with those conversations about being drug-free. Halloween was on a Friday, thankfully, and all in all, the kids had a good week and kept things together. So, parent-teacher conferences last week were easily about 95% when I did the math today. Very few didn't attend, and ones that didn't, I reached out to the teachers to make sure that they're still trying to get a hold of those parents, especially if there's concerns, but I want those contacts made either way. Teachers put in a lot of hours that week, and thanks to PTO for providing supper that Wednesday night, which was lunch the next day as well, so much appreciated. Like Cody said, no big projects right now really, we talked about, but we're heated up and there was one steam leak in one room, and they've been working on that as well, so we're in good shape there. This month we're working on our Character Strong pillar of gratitude, being grateful and thankful, and having appreciation and return kindness. Those conversations have been happening in the month of November and will continue. Holiday season around the corner, we're really, I think, on a good roll with staff and students doing a lot of good work right now, and we're going to keep that push going through that busy season. Things that are going well, the Veterans Day Assembly, 3rd through 5th graders, and Mrs. Lands and everybody at the high school, the band and choir, everybody that had anything to do with that was very well received and a nice program. Kindergartners, every one of the kindergartners have met their benchmark of counting to 25. That's a big deal. So the students in Miss Smith's and Miss Nagel's special ed room, they're using something called UFly. It's the University of Florida Literacy Intervention. And it's been, those kids are making some great strides with that material. So we want to keep that going. Second graders are doing doing a great job with their 2-digit and their word problems. The word problems are something that they've really been focusing on the last few weeks. And 3rd through 5th grade have been hitting their math and reading curriculum really hard. And those are pretty rigorous at that level. And I've just been impressed with what I've seen in those classrooms. So that's what I got.
Questions, comments? Thank you. Okay, personnel. Just hires. Anybody opposed to going 1 through 9 and then 10?
Make a motion
Did I count that correctly?
Just for the record, can you explain the wrestling cheer?
Yeah, so I had a few applicants. After sitting down with them, I felt like that was the best solution for that position, and they both agreed that they would like to work together.
So are they just gonna split the
They're
one?
gonna split the contract,
Okay.
yes. And also, it's every weekend and so on and so forth.
Oh, yeah.
And I told them, if you guys wanna work out a plan where you're there at least half and half, that's fine, or if you wanna both be there the whole time, that's fine, but I think they're both excited for it, to be honest with you. And I think that is a really good solution for that position, so.
It is a commitment.
It's a lot.
It's a commitment. They'd be glad they have to.
I agree, it's a very good plan.
I make a motion to hire 1 through 9.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Alright, 10.
I make a motion to hire number 10.
Okay.
Kenny's abstaining.
Second.
Second. Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
No resignations, new business. Consideration approved list of fundraisers. I did have actually a former school board member contact me. Make sure that we're taking a good look at these to see what the funds are being used for. And he's a business owner and these businesses are being hit over and over and over and over again. They just like a clear definition of what it's going for. For instance, some of them are really good explaining it. Others are, says team. The other one says projects. So just in the future, having them say exactly what this fund's going to be.
We actually talked about that last week. That's something we want to see better on those forms. Specifics of what you're
And some are
what
very
you're building
good.
funds for.
Yes, some are very, very good, but others are pretty fine.
And timely. Being timely would be very
Well,
nice.
Brandon, there were a couple that were submitted late, and we made them wait.
I held them off.
Had one of them pull their fundraising stuff off
Yep.
online.
Yeah, I actually had two come. One was a day late, one was quite a few days late. And I made a phone call, get it down now, and I told the company to take it down, and that company now is required to double check with me before they allow those stores to be open to make sure that the forms have been filled out and that they're approved for that date, so.
As it should be.
And I told Brandon, the auditors, their audit here a few weeks ago, they are hitting on that again, so.
It's not a hard policy to follow.
We're gonna scrutinize it a little tougher now.
Yep. And we, like I said, that was one of our, if you say, point of emphasis for this year at our coaches meeting, that was it. And so the very first time it happened, we really had no choice. We had to say, this is it. You're not throwing something on late. It's done. Like, just wait. So I think they'll get the gist of that pretty quickly.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Consideration for board policies.
All right, you have 4 of them, they're in your packet. The language is up to date. I'll answer any questions you have, and if you don't have any, I'd ask you to approve.
I make a motion to approve the board policy.
Sounds good.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, consideration to approve establishment of junior high soccer program.
I think I sent everything that was asked of me in the packet that was delivered to you guys, so I'm more free to answer questions. But after looking at long-term sustainability, as I told you, I would recommend it if you can sustain it. But after going through the numbers and looking at the senior class going out and talking with Eric and even a brief conversation with Mike here and there, and I would prefer that at a minimum you put it on a year wait. I would not recommend to do it this year. I would like to talk to L&M, get some ideas from them. What are they thinking? Because we do have a sharing agreement at the high school level with them. I would hate to, in order for the high school to be successful with our co-op with them, I think there needs to be a discussion about the junior high, but it should involve both schools. And I got some ideas. They're not ready, but that would be my recommendation.
So here's some options. You can make a motion to table it for a year. We can vote on it. Pretty much those are 2 options, I think, tonight, since it is an action item.
I'm gonna go with we table it for the year then. That's what we're being recommended by that.
I think I've talked to Brandon, I emailed him quite a bit about this, but I just think, without that L&M incorporation at the moment too, I think they're good.
I personally, in a year from now, will probably have the same opinion I've had for the last 2. So, and honestly, we have 9 girls out for girls basketball. There were 8 boys out for junior high wrestling. There are 9 girls out for junior high basketball. We're gonna have to start co-oping. And I would prefer to be on the end of we approach another school about co-oping instead of them approaching us. So, I mean, unless something changes, my opinion probably won't change in a year from now, so.
I'm open to hearing what we have in the year though, like what information I think things will.
And just because if you vote no doesn't mean it can't be brought in a year. Right?
Correct.
It just, what's your guys' call?
I'll motion the table till next year.
So November next year.
You want it in November?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any further discussion? Motion second, table it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Carrie.
Okay. All right, elementary playground.
All right, Sarah, you had asked to have this on the agenda.
Yeah, I just think coming up with a tentative game plan, talking about what we still need to fix, what still needs addressed.
For the next meeting, I will kind of go through between Cody, Kyle, myself, Mike, any board member that would want to be a part of just going through and looking at specific areas, improvements, or just overall upkeep, what's good, what can stay, what needs to go, any of that. So.
Because in that original, like that map, they were zones. What zones we fixed by and?
We fixed the 2 larger ones, so I'd have to look at the map again, but it's the 2 northwest areas.
And I got hit up after, I think, the last board meeting about some of the, and I don't know what the proper terminology is, but the rubber that's under, it's like buckling up.
Mhm.
And people are tripping on it, I guess. I don't know. I'm just, and I
There's
haven't
some
been out there to
areas
look
that
at it either,
are,
but that would be aside from the wood chips conversation. So,
and those are, I think when they were originally, there was some grant money to get that. I believe it was before my time, so
they've been
we're
for a
talking
while.
at least 15 years now.
Yeah.
And just every day out in the weather and the wear and tear.
Yeah, for sure.
Short term, there's probably, when I was out there the other day, like 10 of them that like just plain probably need to come up. But buying 10 tiles at $40 a piece, anywhere $40 to $50 a piece. But if to do the whole thing, we're talking some major,
Yeah.
and not all of them are to the point where they need to be replaced.
Right.
I mean, in a few years, we need to have that plan of action, I think. But I mean, we can come up with.
Well, and I think we just put a Band-Aid on the wood chip stuff, right? Like,
Expensive Band-Aid.
I know, it was an expensive Band-Aid, but I don't think it was like,
In my opinion, it looks good. It's good for now, but it will need to be redone.
cause I thought like to do it properly, and Cody, I don't know, like if you, did they say they needed to dig down so far and then build it back up? I felt like we talked about that.
The quote,
There was a proposal for
the
that.
specs that I sent every person was from Career Landscaping. I didn't include their bid. I took just their scope of work that they included, and that's what I sent to all the
Okay.
contractors, and that's what they were supposed to go off of.
You can correct me if I'm wrong, but, I mean, my understanding was it was dug down,
Yeah, they
To
did
that level.
do. Yeah, they did do.
Okay.
but the gripe is, it's maybe not the mulch.
Yeah.
It's elementary, it's school mulch, but it's not maybe what was wanted. Maybe that wasn't put on the actual bid like it was supposed to. That's my understanding, it's chemical free. I got sent the documentation on it, but it maybe wasn't what was wanted. Somehow it got mixed up. Is that halfway correct?
I would say that's pretty accurate. It's not what we expected.
No, it's okay. So that could be solved relatively easy without digging anything, just replacing maybe what's there with the mulch you want. Would that solve that?
It would. It's just it's hard because it's going to have cost of machinery and removal,
It will.
and then the additional cost of getting what we need. I think the bid specs, I'd like everyone in this room to look at those before they go out to anybody again, so that we're on the same page exactly what, with pictures and documentation of what we're all expecting before it's taken care of again. And it's going to be pricey in just the chips and the pea gravel, whatever we decide to put in. So having a plan of like phasing what needs done first is probably going to be important.
Like what are critical?
And then we had received quotes. I think we did, and you or I or one of us got quotes from a staff member.
Yeah.
Regarding it. It's too
We
expensive.
will
It's
throw
just
it in the
plain-
mix.
Well, it is, it's just too expensive right now, so I don't know if we tear off all of the rubber tiles and try to maybe do some type of temporary epoxy or something different.
There's,
Or concrete, just maybe concrete.
and I have a contractor that would like to look at pricing the same thing
The whole
that
damn
was sent to you. With the like pour in place, so it's all one. And then if you have a section that's defective or bad, like the tiles are raised up now, you cut out that part and they patch that. So I can work on getting additional to
Options.
Okay.
that, options, so.
Do we know of any grants available?
I'll do some digging on what might be out there.
I'm guessing community foundations already.
They just got distributed them.
Riverside, we're applying for lights again. I don't know of any other ones. There definitely could be.
How many fundraisers have we had for playground equipment over the years out there, you know? We had one in the last 5 years, 10 years.
It's just, we haven't had very many, but it's just hard asking parents and families to provide something. I mean, I'm sure things like PTO, like we can have focus and the kids can do something, but I guess my feeling is that the district should be, the kids would want to probably have a hand in that, and that would be a great service project for them. But what really can we realistically.
I mean, you could set a small goal just to have the kids involved or something like
Yeah.
that, but
Yeah, I'm all for
that's my
that.
point, but, you know, I don't wanna see us keep throwing good money into this project. We either need to save the money, make it a one-time thing and fix it, or we're just gonna keep patching this and it's gonna be 40,000 here, 50,000 here, 30,000 here. And at the end of the day, you got the same crap.
And
And
you've
not
wasted-
improving anything.
You wasted
You've wasted that money.
thousands of dollars.
Unfortunately, that's just how that is going to be because doing what we did there, a temporary patch, and we know that. But, you can only patch it so many times and we'll only kick the can down the road so many times. So we have to come up with a solution that's going to be more of a permanent fix in my mind. Because it just, I know budget-wise, we gotta find a way, but I just hate to see us just keep throwing money at it.
Are those tiles down for, what's the reason? Like,
Cause it's concrete underneath.
Okay.
And they, for every certain height, there has to be a certain thickness of,
like padding, essentially?
and that takes the place of, that lasted 15 years where the mulch has to be continuously upgraded.
So no matter what, there has to be padding in the places where there is tile, is really what I'm getting at.
Yes.
Like, we don't really have an option of just doing concrete and walking away from it. Is what I was,
If we took those tiles off, we wouldn't be able to use that
Okay.
space.
okay.
Which is, for a temporary, short period of time, we did that to make sure it was safe enough to use and address some things but yeah, the option is shut it down or fix it.
That's really what I was getting at, is we have to have it there to be able to use it.
That's
Can't
correct.
play in the standard yards anymore.
There's plenty of dirt out there.
The kids will
I'm
find
sure
it.
they find it, so, okay. We probably should get some quotes and,
Start talking things.
I think starting with in December of what pieces of equipment are obsolete and outdated and need to come out or replaced, and then we can start looking at what's underneath our current pieces and what needs to come out, what needs replaced. So I'll try to have some things together for you.
Just, the big balance in the elementary student activity account, that's where a lot of that came from, was popcorn sales and whatever for playground equipment. So I know we didn't use that on the sign because we knew we didn't raise the money for that, but I can tell you that prior to you and prior to principal or two ahead of you, that's where that money, a lot of that accumulated from.
Yeah, and we can do, PTOs doing gum sales, we can do popcorn sales on Fridays. I just know what things cost 20 years ago and what things cost now is just outrageous. And
You guys sell a lot of popcorn.
yeah, every day for a long
But
time.
you could start with some of that money
Yeah.
for, if
There
you're
were
gonna
some
replace
small
it.
things to bite off, like 20 or 30 tiles to replace until we get, that would be where we can get that.
Get rid of any potential immediate dangers. And go from there without pumping a bunch into it.
Every single time.
You can start with that.
Training. Okay.
All right, next
Thank you,
is,
Brett.
Yeah, thank you.
thank you. Consideration test ballot board of directors.
The Great Prairie Board of Directors has an opening on their board. They only have one candidate. But this does require action by our board to submit this ballot for the candidate Rachel Lindeen of District 5. So it is a weighted ballot. Our vote carries 7.9% of the piece of the pie. So it's not huge, but they're requiring us to return this ballot. So.
I need to abstain.
so we just have to, say, make a motion that
To cast our
we're
ballot
okay
for
with
Rachel.
that.
Yep.
I'll make a motion to cast ballot for Great Prairie AEA Board of Directors. Yeah.
I'll second.
Motion second, all in favor?
Alright.
items for next meeting?
I've got playground down, because we're gonna be talking about that. As you think of other things, send them my way. Okay.
Consideration set date time for next meeting.
All right, December 10th is the second Wednesday. However, Brandon and I have the Community Club Christmas event that runs until 6:30. So I'd ask if we could move the start time of the meeting to 7 o'clock.
We did this last year.
You do.
I don't have any problems with that.
Say that again.
December 10th, 7 o'clock. We're just moving it back an hour.
Make a motion for December 10th at 7.
Oh, kind of forgot we had to do that.
And second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Alright, next is going into closed session.
Thank you.